Excuse me. Mm-mm.
All right, there it is. All right. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings to everyone out there. Welcome to another episode of Astoria Story, also known as Cosmetology and Cosmology, brought to you by the Seven Spheres of Money and DJ the Money Coach. Thank you for joining us. What's good, Astoria? How you feeling?
I am good. Happy Wednesday. Good to be back on a Wednesday. I'm good. I can't complain. You know, I'm getting ready to go on this hot little vacation to the beach. So I'm happy.
And this is part of the birthday celebration.
Yes, well, you know, we celebrate forever, okay? Just so happens that my friends also celebrate. One celebrated yesterday actually, starting off Aquarius season. And then the other one is on February 2nd. So we always take a birthday trip around, you know, January or so, to hit the January babies and our one February baby. You know, it's like that kick the year off trip type of thing.
Yeah, that's nice. Set the year off right, and set the tone for the rest of the year. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna be traveling throughout the rest of this year, just like we do every year. You know, set that
Yep.
intention, set that energy. Yeah, I like that.
I'm definitely setting the intention. I have already said that, you know, I made my goal to like save and everything again this year. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to save after I take all the trips that I can take until they shut everything down again. Cause I have this strong feeling that stuff going to get shut down again. So I'm like, let me just get everything in I can get in now until they be like, nah, you can't travel unless you got a vaccine, or nah, you can't travel unless you got blah, blah, blah. And then I'm gonna figure out how to get around that too. But while everything is cheap and the economy is trying to get back, I'm gonna take advantage of these deals.
Right? Yeah, yeah. Right. You know, you're not living in fear. You know, that's something that DJ was speaking about a little bit on Friday, you know, on my show, Nick's Knowledge and Notions, every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Who's watching?
He mentioned, of course, being cautious, but not living in fear. So
Mhm.
I think that's definitely the best way to go about it. You know, for sure. You know, take advantage of the opportunities, and also what I was thinking about the other day is also not taking for granted that there will be a later, or there will be another time too, because back in 2019 there were some
Mhm.
things that I didn't do or I put off, like for example, I didn't go to homecoming. I was like, I don't really got the money. I'll just go to homecoming next year, and or I'm just going to do this, next year in 2020. Then 2020 comes around, and none of those things are available. I don't have anything.
Yeah.
So out of out of all the many lessons that we learned from 2020, one of them was definitely not to take things for granted. Also, to be grateful for what you have,
Mhm.
for your life and the people around you, and the opportunities and things like that, but also to not take for granted or to not assume that tomorrow is going to be there, like it, in this normal sense.
Yeah.
So, I kind of feel you on that level, that I would also take advantage of, traveling and doing all those things, because I'm not going to assume that things are going to return back to what they were before now. And I'm not going to assume that things are going to be better off after this thing moves on to the next phase. I won't even say when it's over. I'm going to say when the
next phase
over or moves on to its next phase.
Right.
Yeah. So
totally agree, because I mean, you mentioned homecoming. I am so thankful that I celebrated 10 years in 2019. So when I went to homecoming, it was like a big thing. And so although we didn't get, and I'm a person, I went to a HBCU, you know me, I went to Jackson State. Let me rephrase. I went to the Jackson State, Sonic Boom of the South, baby. Got us some Dion. So so I'm big on my homecoming. I have been going to homecoming. I started off when I graduated like every 2 years, and then I was like, nah, I'm gonna make this commitment to go every year. If I don't go to games, like my dad is a season ticket holder, been for years and years and years, continues to be. He grandfathered into these season tickets, so I'm gonna have to, keep the tradition alive. But had it not been for me making that commitment of I'm going every year to homecoming, no matter what, I might not have saw homecoming. And homecoming 2019 was big for me because it was my 10 I'm like, I've been out of school 10 years, go back to school for your reunion. Homecoming is a different type of homecoming versus, homecoming always lit regardless, but a significant year is like really important. And I got to see everybody was there. All my friends that, we don't get to see each other that often because we live in different states and all that stuff. So I appreciated getting to do everything I did in 2019 and up until March 9th, 2020, whatever that was, right? So I feel you, but I'm a risk taker. I don't live in fear. I live in fear in some aspects of my life, which I'm working on that myself. But most of the time, your girl fearless. I just be like, well, see y'all later. I'll be back. And my family puts me on quarantine and like, well, we can't see you. Put your mask on, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, see, I'm going to get back.
Right. And another thing, too, about fear is that, fear ends up working against us and we become our own worst enemy, because the fear actually makes things worse. And when we talk about our previous shows with your holistic health as well, I don't think we mentioned this, but it's understood that fear impacts our mental health, which in turn impacts our physical health. So like I've heard the quote saying that fear is killing more people than the virus is, because when you think about it, when you're in fear, that negatively impacts your immunity, and weakens your immunity, making you even more susceptible and vulnerable to getting sick. just like any type of negative thinking does. So that's another reason to not live in fear, is to stay healthy too, mentally, physically, spiritually, all of that. Financially.
For sure.
Yep. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So,
that's probably why I haven't had anything happen to me yet, because not yet, not at all, and not going to happen, because I'd be like, what is this thing? Like, my immune system is high. I travel all the time anyway. If I had it, I done had it already at the beginning when it first started, because I was literally in New York when it happened. Okay. So when it got shut down. So if anything, your girl done had it, then came back, whatever. If that's what it is, right?
Right.
And I'm very conscious of my immune system and what I put in, and things like that. And I shared with you last week, I wasn't feeling good, but it wasn't like I'm down, not feeling good. It was just my body reacting to whatever was happening. And it probably was just a change in weather in Houston and the pollination and stuff that happens. Like literally, it's hot, then it's cold, then it's hot, then it's cold, back and forth. But that's something that we deal with all the time. And every now and again, my body be like, can you please sit down somewhere? Because we tired. We just want to lay down for a couple of days. Just let us rest. And that's what happened, like every single test they gave me came back negative. Like no flu AB, no COVID, nothing. And I'm tested negative for COVID, like I swear 7 times in like 1 week. Like,
yeah,
ridiculous. Yeah. But here's the thing. The doctors are like, well, we have to rule out everything. And I'm like, dude, viruses existed before COVID-19. Okay. So just because I cough, just because I have a fever or the chills, doesn't mean that it's COVID. It could just be a regular bacterial or viral infection that has to pass through my body.
Yeah. People acting like doctors acting like all those things have been substituted and replaced with COVID. So everything that existed prior to COVID, it's all gone now. Everything is now COVID. And you should be worried and you should be scared. Your life is on the line. The sky is falling.
The sky is purple and it's falling.
Oh. We took it to the next level with that one.
I'm just saying. They could tell you anything and you believe it. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but use your common sense. Think about things. Everybody, says like, oh, well, you're not a doctor, you're not a scientist, but it doesn't take all that. Just use your common sense.
Bam. There you go.
Yeah.
Where's your logic, people? It has to logically make sense, okay? So if you have tested out of all of these things, logic would tell you, look for something else. But whatever.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You said all you needed to do was chill. Like it just took a very simple remedy to get you back to feeling normal. And I noticed that too with myself sometimes. Like sometimes when I'm running super short on sleep, during the week, and I might start to feel my throat getting a little scratchy or a little congested or something like that. I could just catch up on some sleep, when the weekend comes, and then wake up feeling, back to normal again.
Yeah.
Or like when everything first shut down, and people were inside for too long and not getting any sunlight, they noticed as soon as they went outside and went out in the sun, they started feeling better.
Exactly. Yeah. I think everybody has a vitamin D deficiency right now because they ain't been outside. Not your girl though, because I've been to the beach several times.
Yeah. You
she gonna get this tan.
You fortunate enough to live, close enough to we can, drive to one, and it's warm, mostly year round. See me, I'm close to a beach too, but I go to the beach now, it's going to be like 30 degrees down there.
But it's not about how it feels. It's about you getting outside in the sun. So you can put your jacket on and just make what they call it, sun gazing, right? So sometimes it's just the fact that you go outside and it doesn't matter if it's hot or cold, right? But the sun rays can get to you regardless of the temperature that it is outside. If it's sunny outside, take your butt outside and sun gaze. Like, just look at it. It's fine. You're going to get all of that vitamin D3, which is what we need, right? You're going to get the vitamin D3 that you need to help replenish your body make you feel better, all those things. Plus, you should be taking your, your sea moss gel, your elderberry, your echinacea, turmeric, all those things that help our immune systems to stay very vibrant and high, right? Like just, take what you need.
Yeah, right. Even if even if the doctors do, cite, research and scientific papers saying that, well, we don't know if that actually works. Just
listen. You know what I tell them? My ancestors was taking care of us before you decided to practice medicine, okay? So you keep on practicing medicine, and I'm gonna go right on over here with these natural holistic remedies that I know gonna help me. Just like, when you're sick and you got the chills, what you do? You make you some hot toddy, right? You get your butt underneath the covers, put your grandmama quilt on top of you, sweat that thing on out, right? Couple days, you feel like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah, it's so crazy how people forget about the fundamentals, that we used to use. It's just like with all the noise, coming from outside people, outside sources, it's just like everybody just got stupid and forgot about everything.
Basically, here's the thing: the human body is created to fight off things. Like it literally, unless you have some type of immune disorder or something like that, your white blood count, whatever, right, is off. Typically, or unless it's like a cancer or something like that, right? Typically, any regular bacterial, viral, anything like that, your body literally knows how to attack and fight it off. It like you are so amazingly designed that you don't have to do too much, right? You could literally if we would allow ourselves to naturally fight off things. We want it so much faster, so we take medicine and things like that, right? And I'm guilty of, when you in pain, you just want to take some medicine and just be done with it, right? But sometimes if we literally allow our bodies to do the process, right? So when you get a fever, this is like the most easiest example I can give you. When you get a fever, your temperature is really high. You notice you get the chills. Why do you get the chills? It's your body's way of cooling itself down. So your muscles, right, tense and vibrate together to create this chilling sensation. So you feel really cold, although your body temperature is hot. And it is telling itself to cool down, right? Or you begin to perspirate, to sweat, right? And it's literally releasing the toxins that are in your body that it's trying to get rid of. Like your body naturally does these things all the time. And we just don't pay attention, right? So when I made the practice in medicine, like I'm not saying that, doctors are wrong or that they can't. Science is science, right? I follow logic. If it makes sense, it makes sense, right? But you don't necessarily always have to go straight to doctor, right? If you've had a fever for a longer period of time, or if it's like a baby or something, go to doctor. You don't know what's wrong with your baby, right? You don't want nothing to happen. But the adult body has had enough time to develop and understand, like, ooh, that's not good. I don't want that. Just like when you feel sick after you got a hangover, what your body do? Throw all that shit up. It'd be like, ugh. It'd be like, get out, get out, get out. I don't want it. Out, 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 out. Right?
Yeah.
It literally says, no, I don't want this. Go away. And so you have to deal with the headache and the throwing up and all that stuff to allow your body to get back to its natural self, because alcohol is a toxin that it doesn't want, right? It doesn't want too much of. Put it that way.
Right. Yeah. There you go. There you go. So,
we don't went all in and we ain't even recap or nothing this week. We just.
I mean, we're gonna get to that because I know. Yeah, I know. Don't worry. I'm going somewhere with this. So I actually want to go back. Yeah, I actually want to go back to what we opened up with. With you prepping for your trip, to kind of give them a little bit of preview of what we're going to talk about, next week, and also kind of, recall the memory our previous show when you were talking about, the travel topic, and then we go back and recap, and then we go and talk about the full moon. So yeah, that's how I got it mapped out in my head. So
listen, Nick got it mapped out, y'all. I'm over here just,
yeah,
just let me talk. He moderates. I talk, he moderates. That's how that works.
Yeah. I mentally mapped it out as we were going along. So you mentioned you were going on a trip. Where are you going?
Aruba.
Okay, this is a different place from where you went back in. When was that? Was that the summer or?
Yes, that was Cabo, Mexico. Right?
Yeah,
we went to Cabo, Mexico. Right. Yeah, okay. Aruba is more south, more southern Caribbean, closer to it's probably closer to Venezuela than anything else. Like right there at the tip of South America type of, like if you look on a map and you see like the Caribbean islands and stuff, it's further down south, closer to South America side. It's literally 10 miles, a 10-mile long island. 10 miles. That's it. 10 miles.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So in our previous show, one of our first shows, we were talking about travel tips. So you gave some general travel tips, and then you also kind of gave us the state of travel and the state of Mexico when you visited during COVID. Mm-hmm. So when you return from Aruba, you're going to give us some updates on the travel things and some of the protocols and your experience traveling to a different place this time around.
Yeah, most definitely. The one thing to note, like right now, before I even go, is the new travel restrictions that the U.S. has put in place, which started yesterday, which was the 26th. So, and that's, you have to take a COVID test. You have to have a negative COVID test or prove that you have gotten over COVID within 3 days before you travel. 3 days to 12 hours, you have to take a test. And then you have to fill out this ED card, which is basically you are purchasing Aruba's insurance, which is $30 for the time frame that you are there. And then, yeah. Oh, and then if you're leaving within a certain amount of time, like so 3 days before you leave Aruba, you need to take a test before that to get back on the plane. Now, granted, this just started, so I'm not sure how all this is going to flow. I have filled out my stuff in order to go. I got the green light. We're good, all this stuff like that. But I'll give you all the details, when I get back and how everything is. I know a few things, like the beach closes at 6. The curfew is 11 down there. Luckily for me and my group, we like to stay at Airbnbs. This Airbnb has a pool, so ain't no curfew for me. I'm going to be in the pool, in the backyard, chilling, living life, So right. Other than that, those are like the top things like right now, but we'll find out the real details when we get into the country.
Right. Yeah. So that sounds pretty much like the precursor, things that, you might want to keep in mind if you're considering traveling, and then we will get the follow up and see how everything went. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So continuing with our recap, let's talk about Money Mondays. Who did you have on? What did y'all talk about?
Oh my gosh, this. If I could have had a favorite Money Mondays and a favorite guest, this would be my favorite Money Mondays and my favorite guest. Okay. I had on my friend D. Marie out of Chicago. She's a barber, lady barber, and is super dope, cool, like creative person. And so when I first met her a couple of years ago in Chicago, we just connected like right away because she's a natural creative. So like when all this happened, she was prepared like me to kind of just like, do something else. If you decide you want to do something else, you don't got to do hair, you can do whatever. And she like retired from barbering, right? And went into photography and videography. So we talked about, how she's been through the pandemic, coming back to barbering because she's now not retired anymore, right? Came out of retirement. How she, what her financial goals are. And we just talked about some hard topics that people just don't talk about in the barber and cosmetology world. So definitely go check that out. We talked about stash, though, that's for sure. And it was so funny. We talked about stash on Monday, and I talked about these stash parties that happen. And literally the next day, a stash party happened. I texted her and she was like, yes, get on it. So if you don't know about stash parties, go watch the video to find out about stash parties, because stash parties are life. Okay.
All right, cool. Yeah, and they can find that on Instagram.
IG.
Yep,
Mhm.
IG, and your IG handle is Miss Story.
Yep,
Right.
Miss_story. So MS_STORI. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So you can check out that past episode and catch the upcoming. Well, all the past episodes are still up there, right? Yep. Yeah.
All the past episodes up there. On Monday, well, first Monday of the month, I'm always with Stacy. And we do first Mondays. So we'll do that again. It may be a little bit of time change just because I'm literally flying back on that day. So I have a nice little layover in Miami. So the times work out a little bit perfectly, but I have to think about the time zones too. So by the time I get off the plane, find a cool little spot to hang out, or whatever. It may be about 30 minutes or so off, but if no delays, if everything is on time.
Right.
Stuff. So
okay. Yep. Yeah. So you can find all those past episodes, and you can tune into those upcoming episodes. Tune in live, so you can drop in, comments.
Drop your questions.
Yep. Yes. Yep. So check that out. That's 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Yep. So go check that out on Instagram. So we're gonna close out with some cosmology. We just did a cosmetology. We're going to talk about some cosmology. We also talked about a little bit of finance. We talked about a little bit of biology also. Biology, psychology, holistic health, all that good stuff. So we're going to close out with a little bit of astrology, talking about things on high. And we got the full moon getting ready to come in, right? So tell us about this full moon. What sign is it in?
It's in Leo. Leo, the lovely lion.
So what does it mean? What does it mean for a full moon to be in Leo?
Look, now I gotta go back to my notes.
Oh, that's fine. Take your time. Do your thing. Now tell us about what that full moon in Leo is about, and how it's going to affect us on a universal level, and how it's going to affect you as a Capricorn.
So in general, yes. It's my lasagna. Well, sorry, y'all. My mama coming to talk to me for a second. Okay, thank you so much. That was the best interruption ever, to have your mama, right? So let's go general first. So generally, when you have a full moon, right, it is a completion, right? And so new moon is like a start of a new, you're planting seeds, blah, blah, blah. The full moon is when you're going to complete things. Typically, you want to look at full moons in 6 month cycle. You want to look at moons in 6 month cycles. Some people do it month to month. Some people, majority of astrologers, going to do it in a 6 month. So this is your time to think about the intentions that you set for the new moon that was in Leo last year, which would have been January. It would have been July. Should have been like July, into July or so. There would have been a new moon in Leo, right? So the intentions and the things that you set, the things that you thought about during that time should be coming into completion, right? Like that's generally how you want to think about it. So there's always a new moon and a full moon. They're always 6 months apart, right? And in the same sign. So what happens in the same sign, you want to kind of reflect on that, right? And then in general, this full moon is in Leo. So it's all about pent up energies. So like releasing, clearing any pent up energies, anything you have going on, right? That's, you know, kind of going through your body. We did go through a lot of different things that have happened. Like if you think about, you know, what has happened already within the first 3 weeks of the year, there's a lot of pent up energy, all those things, right? So you want to make sure you release those things. And as you release those things, you open up the door to new opportunities, right? So it's like that thing I talked about before, when people like to keep one hand closed and one hand open. You can't receive and let things flow the way they should. When you keep both hands open, you're now creating the circuit of energy, right? I release things, I receive things. I release, I receive, right? You can't just always be wanting to receive. So once you release those things, you'll have like abundant opportunities. So in general, for every sign, for any person, there's probably some stuff that you've been holding on to. And if you see any of my posts, the last couple of weeks I've been talking about like releasing stuff. And today I literally made a post about healing. Like, have you ever released have you ever thought about all the stuff that you have been through? And did you ever heal from that? Right? This is exactly what I'm talking about, right? Have you let that go? Have you allowed it to be released so that you can receive, you know, new things? And if you haven't, now's the time for you to do that, right? Yeah, so it's an invitation to honor life force energy expression. So your optimism, your faith, your inspiration, new opportunities for growth, the need to come back to your creative essence, reclaim your right to shine. So what we talked about last night, you know, last Wednesday, allowing yourself to be you, walk boldly in your purpose, be who you are, don't be afraid. Like, it's all that. It's all about like embodying the fearlessness. Because Leo, like when you think about Leo, it's a lion. A lion is fearless. It's like, nope, I'm the king of the jungle and this is what's gonna happen, right? So when you think about Leo, that's what you want to radiate, right? So yeah, so embodying and captioning that. For me specifically, for Capricorn, it's a psyche thing for us for this month. But I kind of told you that before. It's like releasing the fears, um, understanding your gifts, like your value, your purpose in the world, what you're doing. But I kind of talked about that in January, right? Like that's the move for Capricorns for the first part of the month. I mean, the first part of the year, first quarter is literally releasing everything, forgiving people, allowing yourself to be vulnerable, like understanding your worth, your value, you know, practicing self-intimacy, self-trust, you know, being with you. So, you know, when I told you I'm going to New Orleans for a couple of days and I'm probably not going to do anything, like literally that's what I did. I did nothing. But I was in the house, like, you know. And the other people are like, what you mean you in the house? It's New Orleans. I'm like, well, New Orleans is, for me, a spiritual city, right? It's not necessarily I'm going to party and hang out. You know, I have a connection with it on a spiritual plane. And with it being that way, it draws me in. I can get the energy and the things that I need, and then I can go home and I'm good, right? So yeah, just going deeper within myself, you know, getting a sense of my powers again, and kind of just reclaiming my time, reclaiming things that are important to yourself. Yeah, so that's like for me specifically, but I think in general that's probably a lot for a lot of people. Every sign is slightly different, but in general, you know, you're gonna want to release, get back in your power, you know, really sit with yourself, especially since it's coupled with the intro retrograde, like, which is literally telling you to reflect. Like, so you get a full moon for completion, and then it's like, sit your butt down and reflect. Like, stop, hold up, wait a minute. Don't try to press play. We pressing pause. So yeah, it kind of all falls in together because the full moon is today, 28th, 29th, right? And then the first Mercury retrograde of the year is on the 30th.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a lot.
You know, you gave us another word today. You know, opened up church again and gave us another word tonight, like you did last week. So yes,
the doors of the church are now open. Okay, the doors of the spiritual church is now open. Is there one?
Call it discipleship. You know, Astoria gave a sermon. Now we getting ready to head on home.
We're gonna round third and head on home.
There you go. All right, so you can go ahead and close out. You know, wrap this thing up.
All right. Well, you can always catch me on Mondays, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on IG Live. So that's going to be MS_STORI. If you are in Houston and you want Reiki in person, hair services, all those things, you can definitely find me through my page. I also do virtual to cleansing, clearings, all those things that you may need, virtual meditations, guidance, all of that. And then Wednesday nights right here on the Seven Spheres of Money YouTube and Facebook for Astoria's story, or Astoria's cosmetology and cosmology, as Nick says. And of course, on Fridays, you can catch Nick's Knowledge and Notions. It's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, for those of you on that time frame, or like 4 p.m. Pacific, something like that, 5 or 4 p.m. Pacific, something around that time. Because I know we got people watching from all over. And then we got DJ coming up on
in a few weeks, in February.
February.
Tax refund.
You definitely need to tap into that tax refund stuff, y'all. Like, seriously, tap into it. See what the new things are, especially since y'all got stimulus tax and all that stuff like that, which is really just an advance on your taxes. But I didn't say that out loud. Anyways.
Yeah, they need to go and watch Friday's episode of Nick's Knowledge and Notions when we talked about the financial implications of a Biden presidency or election, with them next round of stimmies coming down the pike, you know. So
telling y'all there ain't nothing but y'all. So, look, I'm thankful because your girl don't get a refund anyway, right? Like, I'm not in a place where I don't have no kids. I don't have extra stuff to get refunds with. I just be like, make sure I don't owe you, and give me, like, if I get something back, appreciate it, right? So they giving money, hand it on out. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take the money.
Right, you gonna take it and you gonna do the right thing with it, though. We know that.
I am.
Yeah.
You know what I'm gonna do with it. I told my sister, can I claim one of your kids, girl? Can they be my kid for the rest of their life, like till they turn 18? Shoot. How much money y'all about to get? God, dog, I need to hurry up and bust one open.
Yeah, I mean, they expensive though, so I guess it balances out.
Yeah, well, you're right. Yeah. You're right. They might be a little expensive.
Yeah.
Only when they little. Well, no, they expensive for the rest of their life, I guess.
They're pretty expensive. Yeah, you know, all the food, clothes, and extra, you know, all the other stuff. Yeah, it's they're expensive.
I agree. I got you.
Yeah. So I guess it does balance out somehow. You know, that'll be something interesting. I know we supposed to be wrapping up and I'm going off topic, but I just want to throw this out there real quick. That'll be an interesting study to compare, you know, the expenses, you know, versus the I won't call it profit, but, you know, the expenses versus like the income of being a parent, you know, when it comes to how much it costs to raise a child versus, you know, claiming, you know, this all the tax stuff that people get all excited about. I'll be interested to see how the numbers compare to each other. But but anyway, are you done? You got anything else?
I don't think so. Not that I think
I didn't want to cut your
mm-mm.
your
You
flow, your
know?
wrap up. All right,
No, I
so
think I gave you a good rundown, you know.
yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. And all your contact information is in the description there. So for 7 Spheres of Money, like we just mentioned, we got the tax refund webinar coming up in February, either the second week or third week of February. We'll have the exact date coming to you soon. So you can look out for that. Of course, look out for the shows. Connect with us on all of our platforms. Of course, you're watching the YouTube channel. So, but if you're not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you need to go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you're on social media, you go ahead and follow us on Instagram at 7 Spheres of Money. Find our business page on Facebook, 7 Spheres of Money on Facebook also. Our website is djthemoneycoach.com. That's where you can get on the email list too. So all of that is down there in the description also. So yeah, I think that's about it. We're gonna close this out like we normally do. I'm gonna wish you a pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money, peace of mind. And we want you to come join us and join Astoria, because she the one that be traveling the world beaches. You know, she be traveling the world beaches even more than DJ, I think.
I don't think I travel more than DJ.
Well, I'm talking about the world beaches though.
Oh, the beaches? Oh yeah, I may travel more beaches. But my go-to is the beach though. That's my go-to life.
Yeah. So yeah, we definitely want you to come join that club. So come get with us. And Astoria gonna close out and tell you what Tabitha said. You know, if you ain't following Tabitha, you need to go follow Tabitha.
If y'all ain't following Tabitha, y'all need to be following my girl Tabitha, okay? If you want a healthy lifestyle, a healthy food lifestyle, she's a great person to follow and great person for motivation. But as Tabitha says, okay, y'all go ahead and have yourself a beautiful day. And if you can't have a beautiful day, don't you dare go mess up nobody else's. Okay? All right. Love y'all.
Extra emphasis on the dare.
Don't you dare go messing up nobody else.
That's right. All right, everybody. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you on Friday. Peace.